The United Nations Day, observed every year on 24 October, commemorates the official foundation of the United Nations in 1945. The United Nations was established to save humanity from the scourge of war and destruction following the two world wars. The major objective was to ensure that the world will never again be exposed to such tragedy. But with recent international conflicts, notably the Russia-Ukraine war and most recently Israel-Palestinian conflict, many have come to question how effective the United Nations has been in its mandate.
The United Nations is the only true global institution that has been set up to solve several pressing international challenges. However, over the years, in recent times, it's been growing. We found out that the UN has become handicapped, particularly with the relationship with the members of the Security Council. We have found out that due to a lot of power play and friction, on the fact that members of the Security Council seem not to be on the same page.
There also have been questions about Africa's role and representation in the United Nations. The African group consists of 54 member states, 28% of all UN members, and is thus the most significant regional group by number of member states. Africa has 3 out of the 15 seats on the Security Council, all non-permanent. The group also has 14 seats on the Economic and Social Council and 13 seats on the Human Rights Council. But there are still conversations surrounding Africa's place, especially regarding decision-making in the UN.
Africa, to a large extent, is not underrepresented within the United Nations body itself. However, within the Security Council is the issue here. Amongst the 5 veto-wielding members of the Security Council, no African nation is there.
At the last United Nations General Assembly, many African leaders asked the Western powers and the UN to limit their interference in African politics and governance. However, some have argued that this request would fall on deaf ears as the same African leaders seek assistance from the UN and others.
There's this popular saying that he who pays the piper, he takes it too. You go there, often cap in hand, borrowing, and you don't want them to interfere. They must, definitely. The issue of telling them not to put nose into the idea does not arise. If they put their house in order, then they can, if they can turn their chest that they won't go to IMF, they won't go to World Bank, they won't go to China to borrow.
While the rest of the world prays that the countries currently at war will find ways to settle, the expectation is that the UN will continue to remain neutral in conflicts while pursuing global peace as its end goal. Bernard Akede, reporting for News Central.